This is Tom with your fishing report from the Northeast. As has been the case most of the winter, we have water everywhere, and that's impacting the places you can get to in order to fish. Out on Cave Run and Grayson Lake, the lakes are both between 10 and 15 feet above winter pool levels, and this has been impacting what ramps are open to public access. So be sure to call ahead to the Corps office or the Forest Service office to see if the ramp that you intend on using is open before you head that way. This is the time of the year that muskie are starting to stage up on Cave Run Lake. Fish slower right now, focusing on the sun-warmed banks. With the lake as high as it is, once the increase in the outflow starts, a lot of these fish are going to be holding a little bit deeper than normal, so adjust your tactics. Lake is also staying pretty heavy, so you'll need to account for that while you're choosing your baits. Crappie on Cave Run and Grayson Lake are more active in the upper reaches, and of course several of these ramps are inaccessible at the moment, so if you're interested in fishing for those, you'll be driving all the way up from the lower sections into the upper sections of the lake. Fish around standing timber, and again you'll have to be accounting for that stained water and the lake being pulled pretty hard. This winter we've been working on refreshing brush sites in and around the district. As of today, sites in the Bruin area of Grayson Lake have been refreshed, as have all the sites on Lake Carnico and Nicholas County. Lots of folks out bass and crappie fishing on Carnico last week in the pretty weather. Fish were still in deeper water and focusing on structure and lake contours. Lastly, we have been stocking trout pretty hard around the district. Eagle Lake and Triplet Creek, both in Moorhead, were hit last week with some good loads of fish and should be a good opportunity to head out when you can. So that should do it for us. Wherever you go, good luck and stay safe.
This is Adam Martin with your Western District Fishing Report. Water temps at Kentucky and Barkley Lakes are in the mid-50s, which means it's big fish time for you bass and crappie anglers. The water has been near summer pool for a couple of weeks now due to high rainfall, but is projected to fall again before they start raising it for the year in April. Bass anglers have been finding success primarily with crankbaits. The stained watercolor has so far made the jerkbait and A-rig bite a little tougher to come by. But a few fish are being caught that way as well for anglers who are finding some clearer water or who are simply determined to catch them that way. Now we need a few more degrees and some longer days for the bass spawn to begin, but it won't be very long. Crappie anglers can expect to catch more keepers this year than last year, thanks to strong year classes of both black and white crappie in 2019. Now it takes the average crappie in these lakes 3 years to reach 10 inches, which is keeper size. White crappie will tend to reach that length a bit faster, but that can mostly be attributed to body shape, since a 10-inch black crappie is a bit bulkier and will usually weigh more than a 10-inch white crappie. The tailwater elevations are still extremely high right now, but it is still possible to catch striped bass, white bass, or their hybrids from the shore or by boat if you're using a ramp farther downriver. Now is also a good time to visit one of our fishing and neighborhoods lakes, which are scheduled to be restocked with rainbow trout on March 15th, depending on weather. Now you can find a list of these lakes by visiting our website at fw.ky.gov and searching for the Fishing in Neighborhoods program. And as always, if you decide to get on the water, especially this time of year, please remember to always wear your life jackets and kill switches. Good luck.
This is Jeff Crosby with the Central District Fishing Report. Lake temperatures across the area are running in the upper 40s. Lake conditions are very challenging across the district due to recent weather. Many of our lakes are high and muddy, making fishing very challenging. However, it's a great time of year to get out and fish for sauger below many of the locks and dams on the Ohio and Kentucky rivers. These fish can be caught using jigs, crankbaits, or spoons below these locks and dams. Be careful due to possible dangerous water conditions when fishing below these dams. It's also that time of year to start planning your trips to the upper portions of Harrington and Taylorsville lakes for the white bass run. With warming conditions, we're just a few weeks away from the annual spring run for white bass and also saugeye at Taylorsville Lakes. So it's a great time of year to get out and fish the upper portions of Taylorsville and Harrington lakes for these fish. Also, largemouth bass in many of our area lakes should be moving into a spring spawn mode at many of our area lakes as water conditions continue to warm. It's a great time of year to get out and throw crankbaits and spinner baits and bladed baits for these fish, as well as throwing plastics around shoreline cover for catching these pre-spawn fish. It is that time of year when the larger bass are more vulnerable during these pre-spawn conditions. And finally, don't forget about your local Finns Lake. Many of these lakes have recently been stocked with trout, so check out the department's website at fw.ky for a complete list of Finns Lakes in your area. So grab a pole, enjoy some great late winter, early spring fishing, and I hope to see you on the water.